Have you ever wondered why he can't forget you, even after weeks of silence? Why your name lingers in his mind, not because you asked for attention, but because your energy became something he couldn't escape. It's not the words you said, it's not how you looked, it's what he felt, and that feeling, that's where the addiction begins. There's a kind of woman whose presence doesn't just touch a man, it leaves a mark. Not because she tried harder, not because she begged, but because she knew who she was and didn't flinch when he didn't. That kind of woman is unforgettable. That kind of woman changes a man without ever trying to. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself." And that is exactly what he senses in her. She doesn't wait to be chosen. She doesn't build her joy around his approval. She is her own peace, her own power, her own home. And when a man meets that energy, it hooks him, emotionally, deeply, quietly. He may not say it out loud, but he begins to compare every other woman to the one who made him feel safe without shrinking, soft without surrendering, powerful without being loud. Think of it like this. Imagine the rarest scent, the kind you catch once in a room, and it never really leaves your memory. You try to find it again. You try to match it, but nothing hits the same. That's her. That's what emotional addiction feels like. It's not about chasing her, it's about trying to recreate the feeling she gave, and failing every time. He might have walked away, he might have even chosen someone else. But at night, in silence, when the noise of the world fades, it's her voice that echoes. It's her absence that feels louder than presence. And he realizes he didn't just lose a woman. He lost the feeling of being seen by someone who never had to force it. This isn't just about being remembered. This is about being etched into his emotional blueprint. And the woman who can do that? She doesn't beg. She doesn't chase. She reigns. Beautiful woman, if this touched something in you, it's because you've always had that energy. You just forgot, but not anymore. Because from this moment on, you live as the woman who cannot be replaced. You live as queen. Write this in the comments to claim it. I am the energy he can't unfeel. And if this truth reminded you of your own power, like the video and subscribe. We're building an empire. And queens, this is just the beginning. Number 1. He gets addicted to the woman who doesn't need him, but still chooses him. Have you ever seen the way his eyes change when he realizes you don't need him, but you're still there, fully present, fully whole? That moment of quiet confusion mixed with awe. It's not about your looks, it's not even about your words, it's about the calm power you carry. The kind of power that says, I can walk away at any moment, but I choose to stay. And that's what gets him addicted. He's used to being the reason she smiles, the reason she's happy, the reason she stays. But when he meets a woman who has already built her joy without needing him to complete it, something inside him shifts. He feels the balance of being wanted, but not required. And for the first time, his presence is a privilege, not a possession. Marcus Aurelius said, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." And that harmony is what he feels when he's around you. You're not chasing, you're not clinging, you're not performing for love, you're simply being. And that grounded energy, it pulls him in like gravity. Picture this, a lighthouse in the middle of a violent sea. It doesn't move, it doesn't follow the waves, it doesn't dim its light when the storms rise. It stays rooted, glowing, unwavering. And the ships, they return again and again, drawn not by noise but by the silent promise of safety. That's you. You don't run after him, you stay rooted in your value. And when he drifts, he remembers the one place that never begged for him, but always stood strong enough to be a choice, not a chase. This is when everything changes. When a woman no longer proves her worth, she reveals it, and he can feel that. He doesn't say it, but he senses it in every pause, every silence, every time you don't over-explain or overextend. You become a memory he can't shake, a feeling he keeps looking for in others but never finds again. Because queens, yes, now we speak to you, you don't reign because he stayed. You reign because you never needed him to validate what you already knew. You are whole, you are rare. You are the calm after the storm he never knew he needed. Write this in the comments to claim it. I am his choice, not his need. And if this truth woke something up inside you, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're building a kingdom of fierce, fearless queens, and you belong on that throne. Number 2. He falls hardest for the woman who reflects his truth back to him without even trying. Have you ever noticed how he keeps coming back, even if he doesn't say a word? How his silence still feels full of questions? It's not because you tried to impress him, it's not because you did too much. It's because you reflected something back to him that even he couldn't explain. You didn't flatter him, you didn't fix him, you just saw him, all of him. And that truth haunts him in ways he never expected. He may act like he's fine, like he's moved on. But there's something about the woman who makes a man see himself clearly, not with judgment, but with depth. And once he feels that, it's impossible to forget. Because most people only see what's on the surface, but you looked into the shadows and still chose to offer warmth. You made him feel like he didn't need to perform to be loved. That kind of presence is not something he can replace. It follows him, quietly, powerfully. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. And your presence changed his thoughts. Your love didn't just sit pretty, it challenged him. It made him reflect. And now, even when he's with her, even when he's smiling, that mirror is still there. That reflection of who he could have been, who he almost became when he was standing next to a woman like you. Picture this, a man standing before a clear river. At first, he sees only his reflection. Then the river shifts. Now he sees what lies beneath, his wounds, his strength, his fears. That river, that was you. He didn't expect you to reflect his truth, but you did, gently, powerfully. And that kind of clarity, it changes a man forever. You didn't demand his soul, you simply didn't allow him to hide it. And now, even if he tries to forget, he can't unsee what he saw in your presence. Queens, that is not weakness, that is divine emotional power. That's why he's still emotionally attached, even if he calls it something else. You are not broken, you are not forgotten. You are the reflection he will never escape. And this is not the time to look back. This is the time to rise into everything you already are. Write this in the comments and claim it. I reflect his truth, not his fantasy. We're building a space for powerful women like you, and trust me, this is just the beginning. Number 3. He can't forget the one who made him feel safe enough to fall, but strong enough to stand. Have you ever seen a man look at a woman like she's both the safest place he's ever known and the challenge he's never been able to conquer? That look, the quiet awe, the silent ache, that doesn't come from her beauty. It comes from what she made him feel. He felt seen. He felt supported. He felt strong standing next to her. That's the kind of energy a man never recovers from. He can try to move on. He can try to replace it, but nothing else will ever measure up. He didn't fall for her because she gave him everything. He fell for her because she gave him the space to be everything. She didn't just accept his strength, she honored it. And at the same time, she saw the broken parts he tried to hide and didn't run. She stayed, without fixing him, without losing herself. And that balance, it rewired him. It changed the way he looks at every woman after her. Marcus Aurelius said, "To love only what happens, what was destined." No greater harmony. And that's what she became to him. Harmony. She didn't force her way in. She didn't demand love. She made him feel like he could finally exhale, like he could be vulnerable without losing respect. And when a man experiences that kind of peace, that kind of freedom, it's addictive. Picture a lighthouse in a storm, steady, bright, unshaken. That's her, not chasing the ship, not crying for attention, just being what she is, constant, powerful, radiant. He wandered, he drifted, but no matter how far he went, that light stayed in his memory, because deep down he knew. She was the anchor he never knew he needed. But Queens, let's be real, she didn't give him that light to be worshipped. She gave it because it was her nature. And now she's done giving it to those who can't handle it. Now she shines for herself. So lovely, woman, let him miss the calm. Let him crave the strength. Let him watch you glow from a distance he can't cross anymore. Write this in the comments and claim it. I was the piece he couldn't keep. We're here building an empire of women who don't just attract, they reign. Number 4. He stays emotionally hooked on the woman who didn't flinch when he tried to test her. Have you ever seen a man test a woman, not with words, but with distance, silence, confusion, just to see if she'll crack, just to see if she'll beg? He might not even know he's doing it, but deep down he wants to know, is she strong enough to hold herself together when I start pulling away? That's the moment everything changes. And when she doesn't flinch, when she doesn't chase, when she doesn't fall apart trying to prove her worth, that's the moment he becomes emotionally hooked. It's not always about what she says. It's how she stays calm when he tries to make her doubt herself. It's how she doesn't blink when he shifts. She doesn't beg for clarity. She doesn't lose her voice just because he's gone quiet. That's what makes her unforgettable. The woman who holds her ground without turning cold. The woman who chooses herself when he plays uncertain. That woman becomes the lesson he never forgets. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And that is exactly what he sees in her. Her emotions don't depend on his behavior. She owns her peace. And that makes her magnetic. That makes her addictive. Because every time he tried to shake her, she stayed rooted like a mountain he couldn't move. He pushed. She paused. He pulled away. She glowed harder. That kind of strength, that kind of control, it leaves a mark on a man. Think of a fire that doesn't roar, but still warms the entire room. Quiet, steady, unbothered. You can walk away from it, but the moment you feel the cold, you remember where the real warmth lived. That's her energy. And now, even when she's not around, he feels her power. It lives in his silence. It visits him when no one else can reach him, and he knows he couldn't break her. Beautiful woman, this is not about playing games. This is about knowing your worth so deeply that no test can shake you, no distance can weaken you, no confusion can make you forget who you are. You were not made to flinch. You were made to rise. Write this in the comments and claim it. I don't flinch, I reign. Queens, if you felt this truth in your soul, like this video and subscribe. We're working every day to bring you powerful reminders of who you truly are, because you were never meant to beg, you were born to reign. Number 5, and he gets addicted to the energy that doesn't compete, it just commands. Have you ever noticed how some women walk into a room and without saying a word, everything shifts? He looks up, he straightens his posture, his focus changes. It's not because she's loud. It's not because she's trying, it's because her energy commands, not competes, and that's the difference he'll never forget. He's used to being chased, he's used to being needed, But when he meets a woman who doesn't play the game, who just is, he's hooked. Because deep down, he's not craving attention. He's craving alignment. He may not know how to say it, but his spirit does. And the moment he feels her calm, self-assured energy, he starts comparing everything else to that. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The only wealth which you will keep forever is the wealth you have given to your soul." And that's what she carries. Her soul is full. She's not here to convince. She's not trying to outshine the next. She shines anyway. Her presence speaks louder than any words ever could. That's why he keeps looking back. That's why she's the standard he can't unsee. Think of a lighthouse. It doesn't run around the ocean trying to save ships. It stays in one place, steady, glowing, unbothered. And because of that, ships come to it. Not because it begs, but because it leads. That's what her energy does to him. It guides, it grounds, and most of all, it haunts him when he tries to replace it. He may walk away, he may choose someone else, but soon he'll realize something's missing. The chaos might feel fun at first, but the peace she carried, that's what he'll chase forever. And by the time he understands it, she'll be far ahead. Not bitter, not angry, just unbothered and untouchable. So to the powerful woman reading this, maybe you've been doubted, maybe you've been overlooked, but never forget, it's your energy that sets you apart. You don't need to compete, you were born to command. Write this in the comments and claim it. I don't compete, I command. Queens, we are building an empire of women who no longer beg to be seen. We simply reign. Number 6. He craves the woman whose love wasn't desperate. It was divine. Have you ever wondered why he can't forget the way you loved him, even if he's moved on? Why he scrolls through his memories like a man starving for something he once tasted but can never touch again? It's because your love wasn't a cry for attention. It was a calm, steady force that wrapped around his spirit like light. You didn't chase, you didn't beg, you didn't cling. And that's what made it unforgettable. That's what made it divine. A man gets emotionally addicted to the kind of woman who gives from fullness, not fear. She doesn't pour herself out to fill a void. She loves without losing herself. And that type of love, it's rare, it's sacred. It makes him feel something deeper than attraction. It makes him feel safe, seen, and shaken in the best way. Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." And when he was with you, he didn't have to perform. He didn't have to hide. You gave him space to be, without pressure, without pretending. That is the kind of love a man never walks away from in his mind, even if he walks away in real life. Imagine water, clear, quiet, powerful. It flows, not because it needs to chase, but because it simply is. You were like that. You didn't try to impress. You didn't bend to be liked. You just showed up as yourself, and that energy, that presence, it stayed. It followed him. Even now he looks for that same feeling in places that can't offer it. He touches hands that don't feel like home. He hears voices that don't bring him peace. Because what you gave wasn't cheap. It wasn't loud. It wasn't desperate. It was divine. And that's what makes you unforgettable. Dear lady, if no one has told you lately, you don't have to scream to be heard. The way you loved, the way you held space without needing control, the way you remained soft without losing your power, that is what made the mark. And that is why he craves you. Queens, write this affirmation in the comments and claim it. My love was divine, not desperate. Let the world know that you are done chasing. You are done shrinking. You are done proving. You are the calm he will crave for the rest of his life. We are working hard to bring you the kind of truth that builds empires out of heartbreak. And Queens, your rise is just beginning. Number 7. He gets emotionally addicted to the woman who didn't just touch his body, she touched his spirit. Have you ever noticed that the hardest woman for him to forget is the one who didn't just excite him, but changed him? Not because she touched his skin, but because she stirred something deep in his soul. She didn't just make his heart race, she made his heart remember. And now, no matter how many hands he holds, no matter how many smiles he sees, he keeps going back to the feeling she left behind. Because it wasn't physical, it was emotional, spiritual, eternal. That's the truth, queens. He gets emotionally addicted to the woman who didn't just make him feel good, she made him feel seen. She looked into his eyes and didn't just see the mask. She saw the man. She made him feel safe, real, alive, without ever having to ask for it. Her presence wasn't loud, but it was powerful. Her love wasn't showy, but it reached places in him no one else had touched. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." And that is what hits him the hardest now. He wasted the rarest kind of connection trying to chase comfort, fantasy, ego. But what she gave him was reality, raw and unforgettable. Picture this. A candle lit in a dark room, not flashy, not burning wild, but steady, quiet, warm. She was that candle. While others sparked fast and faded quick, she stayed. And now that she's gone, he realizes how cold life feels without her glow. He touched her body, yes, but what made him addicted was the fact that her love touched his spirit. It awakened something in him. And now that he can't feel her anymore, nothing else feels enough. Queens, this is what happens when a woman stands in her power without trying to be loud about it. When she pours her soul without pouring it all out. When she gives, but never begs. That kind of love? It becomes a part of him. And when he loses it, he doesn't just miss her, he misses himself with her. So rise, beautiful lady, not because he regrets losing you, but because you now remember what made you unforgettable in the first place. You don't need to chase. You don't need to explain. You are the standard he will never feel again. Write this in the comments and claim it. I am the energy he can't unfeel. And if this message touched your heart, like the video and subscribe, because we are working hard to bring you life-changing truths. Queens, your spirit is the reason he stayed, and the reason he'll never forget.